bought the book and I read the
no.
book for you and said, so for 1 week only, we've got Collie and Jamie's book review.
And I say it every week. I can't believe it's Thursday already, and it's a week since we were talking on the radio about all the latest movies. Join us live on the Zoom from Eclipse Cinemas in Bundoran. Collie, very good afternoon to you.
Why, Seamus, I do declare we're back on air, child. I promise I won't do any more of that. Okay, it was in my head. I had to get one out of my. I had to get one out of my system. Just one southern. I kind of, didn't go full dress up. I was going to wear just the dungarees and no shirt, but then I remembered, we do have quite a people who watch the video, and that's just not fair. So I went to sort of deep South America as I could, So
it's a good reason for that, though.
Yeah, well, aside from the beautiful weather here in Bundoran, of course, but yes, we've one very big movie to talk about this week, which is Where the Crawdads Sing. And yes. I suppose, Jamie, isn't it funny that so there's movies that are coming up that you and I have talked about, maybe it's an Irish one, or something big like Top Gun or Elvis, that is just you're bombarded with ads and so on. But this is one of the ones, it's weird that about half the audience have been asking us nonstop, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? And the other half are going, you're what? You're Crawdad? What's a What is this movie? And that sometimes happens when it's a really big book that is made into a movie, because there are literally millions of people who've read the book and are obsessed with this book. It's been a huge hit. And then there's loads of people who've never heard of it at all.
But they have heard of the star.
Yes, they most certainly has. Can we call her, even though she's born in Essex, Sligo's own Daisy Edgar Jones, who you would imagine is not the person you would go to say, oh, this is a girl raised in the swamps of Louisiana on her own. But I suppose what we should do first is we should play the clip, which will set up a bit of it, and then I'll tell you a little bit about Where the Crawdads Sing.
The marsh is a space of light where water flows into the sky. A swamp knows all about death. The marsh keeps secrets.
Who would murder Chase Andrews?
There were no footprints, fingerprints, nothing.
And it understands that every creature does what it must to survive.
Oh, she's definitely there, all right.
Yeah, very dramatic. Now, a couple of things. Funny, isn't it, that they obviously went, well, if you, and I have to be careful to say this is somebody from Dublin. They clearly went, if you could do a Sligo accent, right, you could do any accent. I don't know whether that's a compliment or not. And the other thing is, right, so let me tell you something about Sony. Sony make excellent movies, but when they send us the unlock codes, the blighters never send them in time. So this movie only unlocks for the Eclipse Cinema Bundoran at exactly 6 o'clock this evening. So I haven't seen it. But Jamie, I take my responsibilities very seriously, right?
Very seriously.
So they emailed us last week and told us this. So I knew. So what could I do instead? So Jamie, I went and bought the book and I read the book for you and said, so for 1 week only, we've got Collie and Jamie's book review. There should be... we should have a fanfare or something like that. So yeah, I went up to my friends up at Novel Idea and I bought the book. And in the last 5 days, I read the book and it's excellent. I now understand why people have gone on about this so much. I thought maybe, not that there's anything wrong with sort of more just romantic drama, but I thought maybe it wasn't for me. But it is a thriller. So Kaya is the youngest of a load of kids that are raised in the swamp by this abusive father. The mother leaves, and one by one, the other children leave, assuming Kaya will be okay. And she ends up abandoned. And it's that story of isolation. And she sort of raises herself. It's sort of kind of like a reverse Tarzan. But of course, she doesn't raise herself, in that there are other people helping. You heard there that she goes and starts to sell mussels to a kindly old gentleman who's very generous with his payments, and his wife helps her. There's a couple of boys that help her. Are they up to any good? Are they not? So this is one part of the story that it works in flashbacks. And then in modern times, one of those boys is found dead. And of course, all the fingers are going to point in the town to this strange marsh girl who nobody knows, who, you know, is poor white trash as far as a lot of the locals are concerned. And other people think she's mysterious. Yeah.
This is set like in the 50s and 60s.
Yes. So she's kind of abandoned in the 50s. Because I suppose that's the time that could happen. That's, you know, there would be no social service, it'd be easy to avoid. And then the trial is kind of like 1969, 70. So long before, although it's America, so it's not a huge social net anyway, but whatever social safety net there was. So it's intriguing. It's both a courtroom drama and then a story about isolation and love. And then if you're so starved of contact, would you know the difference between who's out to help you and who's not? Now, everyone I know who's read the book is obsessed and waiting for this movie. And most of them seem pretty pleased with the casting of Daisy Edgar Jones, because in the book, you know, even though Kaya is kind of in the wild, she is, you know, a rare beauty, sort of a wild feral creature. As I said, kind of like a Tarzan sort of thing, except in the marshes. And I'm really intrigued to see how they do this. I am a big reader. And, you know, sometimes books work as a movie, sometimes they don't. And it's not usually anyone's fault. It's the story. Sometimes the story isn't suitable for it. And it seems to be in the reviews so far, people who really like the book have really enjoyed this. Some of the critics, not so much, but it's not really for them. This is going to be a labor of love. We've already got in the cinema 2 book clubs have booked in big groups to it because they've been using, which is a great way to experience it. I also feel they may have a plan for a new wine license too. It was kind of hinted at. I didn't want to judge. I don't want to stereotype all book clubs, but it seems that sometimes wine is a big part of the book club. But I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to it so much because it's the summer. I'm going to get up and go and watch this at about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, which is no time to be watching movies. But I think it's intriguing. I think there's people there who go, right, they've made a movie of that. I'm going to go and see it now. And hopefully we've piqued the interest of a few others.
But this is a great move for her, isn't it?
Oh, it's a big
time now. Yeah.
And what happened was Reese Witherspoon, the actress, read the role. She's from Florida or somewhere like that herself. She's from Deep South. She wanted somebody to do it. And she realized she was now too old to play the role. She saw Normal People and said, that's my Kaya. And as she said herself, she would be strict on getting the Southern accent right, being from the Deep South. And she said, this is the actress who could do it. So it's a huge leap for her. Huge leap. It was probably one of the most prized roles in all of Hollywood, because I imagine she's in almost every scene of it. So I can't wait to see it. I think it's been intriguing. I think it will be a big hit over the next few weeks. And
we're liking it. When does it open?
So it opens tomorrow, Friday tomorrow. Yeah. And it's going to be running for a while. So where the Crawdads sing. And do you actually get to see a crawdad? I don't know. I read the book and it's one of the last lines. They say where the Crawdads sing. And I'm pretty sure it's a bird, but I'm not still definite because I was too busy trying to find out. Did she kill him or not?
I think you're on the right. You're right on the right track there. And right, okay. Moving on swiftly. Will that be in the director's lounge? Or
oh yes. That'll definitely be in the director's lounge as well. Now, we do rotate things. Elvis is still selling out, and so is Top Gun. People are still coming to see it. So, you know, you got to go where the demand is.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we'll talk about that after. Anyway, Mr. Monday, you're bringing back that Irish movie.
Yeah, I'm calling Q,
Quiet Girl, yeah.
which I'm delighted.
Quiet Girl, yeah.
I'm delighted to bring back, because as you know, I raved about it at the time, and loads of people went to see it, and we did one more screening in June, and 57 people on a Monday night in June turned up, and loads of people said, please bring it again, for a small Irish movie with no budget at all. And I said it came out at the same time as Top Gun, so you can imagine the sort of thing it was up against. And it's great to see Irish movies doing so well. And we just got a trailer for a new movie called Rocha and Frank that I think is going to do really well.
I spotted that last night because I was at the cinema last night, folks. I eventually got to Top Gun and in the director's chair. Absolutely brilliant. Exactly what you said it would be, and it was. It was great stuff, but you have to see it in the cinema, folks. Yeah. Definitely. And like you said, they were turning the volume up gradually as the film went on. And I love the Hollywood end. Anyway, not to worry. We've 20 seconds, and you were going to say, I interrupted.
Yeah, so Rocha Frank, so another Irish language movie coming up. And next week we've Joyride, another Irish movie. Because as much as we love the big international stuff, it's really important to look after our own too. I think Ocean FM with their Irish playlist would agree with that. So we're going to be talking Irish movies next week. We'll go see where the Crawdads sing this week. It looks great.